Anyway, let's get started. Good afternoon. I will now call to order the meeting of the members of the New York Job Development Authority, DBA, the Empire State Development Corporation, for Friday, October 24th, 2014. The members have received the written materials in advance of this meeting, and they're free to ask questions, of course, at any time. As noted on the agenda posted to the Internet, we welcome public comment on the items on the following agenda. To ensure maximum opportunity for participation, speakers representing themselves may speak for up to 2 minutes each, and those representing groups may speak to up to 4 minutes, one speaker per group, please. Speakers' comments may address only items considered at today's meeting. Now, before we begin with the substantive portion of the meeting, I would like to ask the members whether anyone has any potential conflict of interest with respect to today's agenda item. And if so, I would ask you to please make an appropriate disclosure on the record at this time. We will then be sure that you may recuse yourself or yourselves from any discussion or vote with regard to such item when it comes up later on the agenda. So let me pause to see if anyone at this point would like to indicate if they have a potential conflict. All right. Hearing, or not hearing anything, we'll just move ahead. Thank you. I will now ask for a motion, please, to approve the minutes of our last meeting, the minutes of June 26, 2014, and August 4th, our last two meetings, and August 4th, 2014. So is there a motion to approve those minutes?
Motion.
Thank you, Emily. Second. All right. Seconded by Adam. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? Hearing none, motion carries, and the minutes of both of those meetings, June 26th and August 4th, are therefore approved. Very good. Now, we have one item today, as we all know. I'm going to flip my papers over. We're going to turn to Ray Salaberios, who's going to present the Empire Farmstead Brewery item for the board members' consideration. Before Ray begins his presentation, I'd like to note that this item was already analyzed and approved for presentation to this board by the members of the Finance Committee. So as is our procedure, Finance Committee approves it first, and now it comes to the full board for consideration. So thank you again, everyone, for coming together to consider this item this afternoon. Ray, we look forward to your presentation.
Thank you, Kenneth. Good afternoon, everyone. Today's JDA board meeting is to consider two proposed loans in the amounts of $2,196,000 and $1,398,300 respectively. The real estate portion of $2,196,000 is to be used to take out 60% of an interest-only loan provided by Oneida Savings Bank for the construction of a facility located in Casanova, New York. The $1,398,300 loan is to be used to take out 60% of an interest-only loan provided by Oneida Savings Bank for the acquisition of brewing equipment. The total amount of JDA loans is $3,594,300. Total project costs are $8,394,262. Empire Brewery, established in 1994, is an award-winning brewer of handcrafted ales and lagers. Empire operates a successful brewery with an award-winning contemporary downtown bar and grill on premises in Armory Square, Syracuse. In 2010, the company began distributing its beer off premises to wholesalers and retailers throughout New York, but to date has never bottled its own beer for sale on store shelves. With bulk distribution, Empire Brewing has reached its production capacity at its Syracuse brew pub and at its contracting brewing partner, Greenpoint Beer Works facility in Brooklyn. In order to meet increasing demand, Empire has decided to expand its operations with the launch of its Empire Farmstead Brewery, a 22-acre farm with a 28,000 square foot brewery and packaging plant located in Casanova, New York. Empire Farmstead Brewery is slated to open in late summer of 2015 and is poised to be the largest farm brewery in New York State of its kind. The 28,000 square foot building will be situated on an undeveloped 21.7 acre property in Casanova, New York. The $8.3 million project is expected to support 20 construction jobs and create 35 permanent full-time jobs in year 1, 50 by year 3, and total 75 5 years after loan disbursement. The construction is expected to begin in December of 2014 and again to be completed in late summer of 2015. the company came to JDA for permanent financing of $3.5 million in conjunction with Oneida Savings Bank. JDA proposes to provide 60% of permanent financing, extending over 20 years for both the construction portion and the equipment portion. Since JDA will be providing permanent takeout financing, the entire project will need to be already completed and other funding sources, including Oneida Savings Bank, and also a $300,000 Madison County IDA loan, which will be subordinated to JDA, a CFA award from the Regional Council of $550,000, and community development block money of $500,000. All that has to be in place before any JDA funds are released for the project. Oneida Savings Bank has also agreed to a 2% interest-only line of credit for $1.5 million to cover additional startup costs for the brewery while the approved grants are waiting the funding triggers that will allow them to be dispersed. The ESD staff and the JDA Finance Committee has acknowledged this analysis based on projections and that this analysis can be looked at as riskier than our normal JDA loans. However, in determining our recommendations on why to proceed with the project, there are some compelling factors that led staff to recommend approval. The company has shown that funds equal to the amount of the proposed JDA loans are not reasonably available from other sources at a comparable cost of borrowing. There is great potential for the company to create jobs in New York State. The community will derive measurable benefits for the approval of the project, and there is interaction with economic development programs administered by Empire State Development and other New York State economic development programs, as well as broad community support for this project. Also, the company qualifies as an agricultural business in need of assistance under JDA statutes, which states that the legislature has continuously acknowledged the importance of farming by establishing a variety of programs to promote a strong agricultural economy. Due to an uncertain economic climate, the agriculture industry has difficulty attracting investment capital upon reasonable terms. JDA is authorized to provide financing to businesses that serve farmers and which would otherwise face difficulties in obtaining capital at a reasonable cost for establishing or expanding their enterprises and businesses. In addition to meeting these goals and requirements of the Act, this project demonstrates a strong potential to further enhance the success of currently established initiatives to grow New York's strength in agribusiness, tourism, food, and beverage production. For those reasons, staff recommends approval of this project. And that's my presentation.
Well, Ray, thank you. Thank you for the presentation and for all the documentation and materials that even I see articles here from the Syracuse Post-Standard and others, all the materials that we have to consider. Let's open up the discussion this afternoon to any of our JDA board members that have questions about the project.
I would just like to say in the Finance Committee meeting, we spent a great deal of time going over, the information about this, and we finally came to agreement that we should move forward with it, even though it is a riskier loan than normal.
Thank you, Emily. Ray, I have a question. This is just a formatting thing. I'm not sure. On the cover sheet, when we do both loans and we do the classification, what does it mean to have, so let's say 2C plus, projected 1A plus. So I look up 2C plus because I don't always remember these things in my helpful chart. But what does it mean to have two, if they projected 1A plus, what happens? It moves to 1A plus over time, or, because 1A plus is the highest we have, right?
What happens is when we analyze the project, we first analyze the project on the historical data provided to us.
Right.
In this case, the tax returns, the historical tax returns for the company. But to further analyze the project, we need projections and the assumptions behind the projections. And analyzing the projections and the assumptions brings the project up to the point where we consider it, if these projections hold true, and everything works out the way we say it's going to work out, it really becomes a 1A plus project and gives us a higher comfort level of moving forward.
Okay. That's helpful. Thank you. And I also am curious about the bank loan. Well, no, this is something, again, just you can refresh my memory. You know, a 60-40, us financing 60% of a project, I know we have a different ratio when it's a real estate project versus a machinery and equipment, right? Can you just remind me what our standards are? I know 60-40, is that our real estate?
No.
How are we viewing this?
What happens is the statutes allow us to give additional assistance for projects in need of special assistance
Right.
or located in the distressed community.
Right.
If this project was located in downtown Manhattan on Madison Avenue and 45th Street, the most we'll be able to do is 40% of total project cost.
Okay.
But the location being in upstate New York, Casanova, it being a farm business,
Right.
the statutes allow us to give a higher percentage participation.
Okay.
We find that many banks, they just don't want to lend to farmers.
Right.
And so in order to induce them to lend to farmers, we'll take a bigger participation of the project and still subordinate for them in the real estate,
Right.
which makes it a lot more attractive to the bank. But we will require, and always do require, a co-equal first on the machinery and equipment portion of projects.
Right, but we're subordinate to the bank on the real
In
estate.
real estate, right.
Well, we hope that never really matters.
Right.
They don't want a brewery, and we don't want them to have a brewery. Nice bank that I'm sure they are. Good. Any questions from other directors, please, or anyone for Ray? Mario and Jim and Anthony, are you all satisfied with the information presented?
Yeah, I think it sounds good.
I know Jim likes it because it's an agricultural product, right, Ray?
Very
My
much
understanding,
so.
yes.
And very much
It's
so.
a- no, it's-
And my farming operation, folks, is about 20 miles south from Casanova. I know the community quite well, and we have been working with an upstart winery in the Casanova area that's having some difficulties with the local municipality. And so we did some research just to make certain from our seat that the local folks were fully comfortable and that the research and the things that had been done on the local level really needed to be to ensure good, strong support on that local level. And we found that, in fact, it was in place. I also visited the site, went through there, probably 2 weeks ago, and took a look at it. And so I know exactly where this is going to be. I think it's a community. Casanova is somewhat like Skinny Atlas. They're a little more progressive and a bit more artsy. And so this is going to also kick, I think, the hops production in the region up. And that's something that the governor's been very, very supportive of, and with our work with the SLA and others on breweries and wineries and such. So we see this as a very positive development. Pleased that the JDA is able to reach it, because clearly financing can be difficult in the agricultural sector.
Jim, thank you. At least just speaking for myself, it's been very helpful to get your perspective since you know the community, you've seen the site, you've been there, and you have the perspective, again, of being a senior official from the Department of Ag and Markets. So thank you for that very much. It's not nearly as consequential for me, for what I'm about to say, which is I do know the principal, Dave Kadaleski. He's very involved at a statewide level in the craft brewing industry, outspoken advocate, successful place in Armory Square, downtown Syracuse. So this is someone who's not new to the industry. He's well established, I think has a good reputation. This is more just, I'm sort of saying this about, I guess, a character witness, right? But, he's a player, and he's been in business a long time.
Dave is also the head of the New York State Brewers Association.
Yeah, no, and he's not shy.
No, he's not. You can say a lot about him, but he's not shy.
I did an event on behalf of the governor on rural economic development and export, and Dave came to talk about his desire to export craft brewery products from upstate New York beyond the state's borders. We did with Senator Gillibrand this summer. That's the last time I saw him. So he's got a lot of support in the community, I think it's safe to say. Good. Any other questions or comments for Ray or anyone with respect to this item?
I would just like to say that once it's up and going, I think, we need to have at least a taste test.
I thought you'd come to visit Cazenovia.
Even better.
To Jim's point, Cazenovia is just one of the most idyllic, beautiful spots in New York State. And
That's great. I mean, because we can't forget we are going to the pilots.
Well, Sandy Hook.
Yeah, Sandy Hook.
That's right.
Yes, we're going on a
Staten Island to
tugboat.
Cazenovia, why not?
Maybe
No,
they
I
can
think, no.
take us up there.
Emily's right, we need to do a tour, Ray.
Yeah.
A tour, go kick the tires of our borrowers. Well, let me ask then if there are any comments from the public with regard to this item. If not, I will entertain, please, a motion for its approval.
Motion.
Thank you, Emily. Is there a second? Thank you very much. Adam for the second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? Hearing none, the motion carries and the item as proposed, Ray, is approved. Congratulations, thank you, and good luck with the project. The final item is really just for informational purposes. There's not a presentation regarding the investment report, which is in our book, our board materials. It's the investment report for the New York Job Development Authority. However, our staff is available to answer any questions members may have relating to the report that you may have come with this afternoon. So let me pause and see if there's anyone who you can take a look at it now, and or if you've got questions. We've got Rob and others here. Ray, of course. Any questions? If not, there is no further business on the agenda this afternoon, so I'll ask please for a motion to adjourn today's meeting.
Motion.
Emily, thank you for that. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Very good. Thanks, everybody. These are always tricky to schedule, middle of the day, everybody's busy. Thank you so much to all of you, our board members. This is the board where, as we know, we all have to be here to establish a quorum, so thank you so much for your participation and assistance. And at the committee level, on the Finance Committee, those of you who help Ray and the team package and get the loans straight up, it's very much appreciated. Thank you all. Have a great afternoon and a nice weekend. Ray, thank you. Thanks,
This is
everyone.
Jim.